Okay, so I spoke part one on Española. Briefly, what was passed down to me from my great grandmother, my great grandfather as well. But the point was, the whole point behind it was how I found out later in life, how I saw, how I witnessed, how I felt, how such a book could have such a hold over one's soul. Very few people that read that book ever reach liberation or ascension. And I don't want to offend anybody, you know. My channel is open for everyone. I am not going to do that bullshit and speak on celebrities. I'm not going to do that bullshit and speak on meaningless, ridiculous, distraction-wise YouTube beef. I'm not going to speak about, I'll put it this way, I'm not going to water myself down for those who don't comprehend. Because there's plenty of other channels that are very watered down. You could go there and, learn a little bit first and then, come back here and make more sense of what the information I'm giving. YouTube used to be this back in 2009, 2010. You didn't have people claiming to be righteous, but at the same time mentioning celebrities in every single fucking video to get a view. So, you're not going to get that from me. You're not. And forgive me for the times I ever had to speak on anybody else. With that being said, the book. I've seen this book used in court. I've seen this book sweared on and lied. I've seen the whole precinct. And when you think about it, I swear to tell nothing but the truth. Wait. I swear to tell the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help me God. Words are spells. Do you understand that? I tell the truth. Nothing but the truth. So help me God. If that does not sound like a spell, especially when you raise your right hand, okay? Not only is that a Masonic gesture, but it's also a sign of allegiance. It's also a sign of, it's a sign of a vow, okay? I've been married before. Yes, I'm divorced, but there's a lot of ways that I've seen the book used in the same types of spells, and the same... Look, this video is the difference between sorcery and magic. And I need you to understand this with the book, okay? A lot of people are very, very, very connected to this book. And the moment they hear anything, the slightest thing wrong that doesn't resonate with them, they're out the door. They're not going to listen anymore. Me, I want to know that what I'm reading, what I'm studying, what I'm listening to, what I'm giving my energy to, I want to make sure it is pure. I do not want to give my energy to something or anything, be that a book, a person, a place, nothing. If it has a spell over it, if it has been binded by rituals of this was such a long time ago that the only word I could use is the first 13 royal family bloodlines which infiltrated the whole planet, as you know. The book, it's not just used in in church on Sundays. Understand, this book is used in politics. This book is used in this corrupt justice system. And let me get into something else this book is used for. Our ancestors, during the Haitian Revolution. This is after they destroyed our crystal structures. This is, look, we had a much different earth. I'm sure you all know about the underground cities. I'm sure you all, if you don't know about inner earth, well, a lot of the tribes that disappeared, they didn't disappear and vanish. They went through liberation and were granted access into inner earth, into realms like Agartha, Telos, Shambhala. They always distort the truth. When you type in and search about inner earth, the fact that they'll reference that the Nazis fled to inner earth is just a disgrace. They tried. There's a reason why Tibet, and there's a reason why the mountain range over there, all the temples were destroyed, but still there was never an access. You cannot be granted access into those higher dimensions of inner earth unless you go through a liberation process, which requires a very, very high vibrational state and a very pure soul. The way they take the truth and distort it, just like they do in the Bible. Because in that book, understand, it's not just the external God that they created speaking. It's also the external Satan that is speaking also. And you have to use your discernment to know the difference. It was shown to me. And after years of this being embedded into my mind as a young boy, I was more interested as a teenager in studying. You know, I studied for years until I realized, wow, I didn't have to learn any of this. It's right in front of my face. I remembered what I was told about the Haitian Revolution. I remembered how my nanny explained how much Haiti helped with the Taino tribe in Puerto Rico, helped with the first conquering, and that during the Haitian Revolution it wasn't just Haiti. You know, it was Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. It was all of the natives. There was infiltration from Europeans that did make it into Bermuda. There was shady business, but I was not there. All I know about is what's most known is how the Bible was used secretly. The Bible was used for voodoo. Voodoo, voodoo, hoodoo, voodoo, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to label it. First of all, don't judge right off the bat, because things have been watered down over the years, tainted, and have a completely different narrative put on them. Voodoo was magic of the ancestors. Voodoo was not sorcery, especially back then. Voodoo was nature. When you understand the Orishas, when you have an understanding of the Orishas, and an understanding of the elements within the human body and within the universe, and just the way it was used, they were so smart that when they saw this book, they saw the deceit from the very beginning, and they used it against the conqueror with their magic. What they did was not evil. Understand that their village was brutally raped, killed, tortured. That's why the Taino tribe went from very dark, carbon, melanated warriors to this is why my poppy, was very transparent. He hated his skin color, but he became very transparent over time. Because when he looked in the mirror, he saw the conqueror in him. And the village of Puerto Rico had a strong hatred. But over time, there was an understanding, hey, this is what they did. They bred with the Taino tribe to dumb the Taino tribe down. They were descendants of the Aztec. Very, very, very highly advanced. That was the first genetic warfare, genetic engineering, whatever you want to call it. But understand, how could a book that's holy, which is also a word that is very much a spell. Why do you think Hollywood, Holly, holy? I could get into a whole lecture, I'm not going to. But the point is, I see the book being used for both. Well, actually, I can't say both, good and evil. I see it being used for evil and ignorance. Very rarely do I see brothers using it for good, or sisters using it for good. It takes a very rare breed to use that book and use it for good. I can't. I've tried. And it was forced upon me a little bit. I have a different way. I have a different spiritual journey. I have a different relationship with the universe, and a different understanding due to what's been passed down to me by my great-grandparents, and what's been passed down to them by their great-grandparents, and their great-grandparents' great-grandparents, and so on and so forth. And that I'm very grateful for. The magic used isn't often explained, but the way I was told as a child. You know, I thought it was just a story. I didn't know it was history. Um, Understand, this was shared straight from the ancestors. But when they would traffic the men that they have broken down, the families that they have broken down, and trafficked them to America for slavery, they used magic in such ways that people, the conquerors, would disappear, would just vanish through vortexes. Some of them, if they were evil, if they were violent, their teeth would rot out, their intestines would throw up their intestines. Like, I can't even explain the severities. I could speak for hours on all the different ways that magic was used to protect our people, was used to protect the tribes, was used to protect Haiti, was used to protect Hispaniola before it was bombed. And I want you to understand more so the crystalline grid. There's a crystalline grid of Earth. What I'm speaking about isn't a physical grid of crystals. It's more so an energetic grid, like a spider web. And in certain areas, the frequencies are just so high and crystalline, which is where the Bermuda Triangle, Mount Shasta, Sierra Vista, the Grand Canyon, forget the town in Tennessee, the name of the town. I could go on and on into the Himalayas, Mount Fiji, you know, there's so many places, you know, Hawaii, where the crystalline energy is so high that people there, they are very liberated. Their rivers bring natural DMT. It goes so deep. It goes so deep. And I'm running out of time, but I want to end off with saying, I was always told as a child about the ancestors bringing in this crystalline energy. I was also always told about the floods. I'm from New York, and right now, even though almost a week has gone by, there are still areas of New York that are under 3 feet of water. Before, the water was up to shoulder length. We have never seen that here before. I think this is the first time in history there's been a flood to such an extent. But it's not just New York. It's Canada. And it's not just Hurricane Ira. It's Hurricane Nor. Hurricane Larry is coming right up the East Coast, supposed to hit us straight on. Understand that the floods from all of North America and South America, and even Europe, Spain, Germany, Italy, France, Russia just got a hurricane, got rocked with floods. China's been flooded for the past, it's almost been a year now? They've been flooded? Look at the whole entire globe is in floods right now as I speak. Except Africa. It's the middle of the summer, and Africa got blizzards instead of floods. If you don't believe me, I dare you to see for yourself. Just as the ancestors said. Just as I was told, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it, and it's like, wow. Wow. Very, very proud moment in history right now. And with that being said, I'm gonna end the video. Much love, much love. Just wanted to share what the ancestors had on my mind, what the ancestors had on my heart, on my soul, and what's been shared to me as a child, and how it's greater understood now. You don't have to listen to me or believe me. I know when this resonates with someone who watches it, it's going to resonate with them because the ancestors speak through us, through each other. So, I got you. Much love, much love, and peace.